How do you handle the pressure of trading, especially when you are on a winning streak? Having your, like as you say before, your work schedule, this should be look like a job.
Yeah.
Everyone that asks me, hey, I want to be a professional trader. Hey, how long have you been studying? A month. Well, you studied journalism for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
20 years.
A doctor needs 10 years. So I think to be a professional trader, you need years, not months. So that happened to me as well. I am trading for years. And when I'm on a winning streak, I just follow my plan. And of course, what we were talking before, I have a strict money and risks management plan. And with that, taking away the earnings call, of course, you will follow it and you will have no impulsive reactions to the winning streak.
Mm-hmm. But in my experience, many newcomers in this industry, when any trade go for the loss, they can hold. But if trades will in profit, it's difficult to hold that one. Profit is more difficult to loss trade hold.
What I do in those cases, sometimes if I want to continue winning, I just use sometimes trailing stop. So I keep, even manually or automatically, I actually love trailing stop. So I keep following the price once, or up or down, depends on the position, of course. And that's the best strategy to calm you and to say, have every money you can have with the position if you have a more powerful tendency.
So between trailing stop and then putting stop loss at break even, which one would you go for? Normally I think you do understand the difference. With trailing stop, you're chasing price.
Of course.
And then with stop loss at break even, you just put in just above the entry price.
I use more trailing stop.
Trailing. So you don't get, let's say, angry when, let's say, price has moved, let's say, 50 pips. You put your trailing stop at 30 pips, it comes to pick you at 25 pips and goes to 100 pips.
No, I get no angry because it was a positive trade. So I use the Monty Hall problem, when you have one door, we have 3 doors and you open one and there is a gold and you have a price, like the probabilities of the trade change. So once it passed the break-even spot, I think it's a Monty Hall problem. The probability change, and I'm happy with the trailing stop following the price. And if that happens, it's part of it, and I make a profit, I'm happy.
I think that's, for me personally, my own sanity and psychology. I subscribe to the stop loss at break even.
This is a very interesting question.
Traders are used break evens. Yes.
It's a very interesting question because talking about stop losses for professionals is like getting into a rabbit hole. There are those professionals who say they never use the stop loss because it's meant to be hunted. I don't know what you guys think on the use of stop losses.
You don't use stop loss?
No, personally I do. But I have friends of mine who are professional traders. They don't use stop losses. I have a classic example of a gentleman who was trading during the Brexit and he was buying. And I'm watching the news, I'm watching Parliament, the conversation, and I'm telling him, this thing is still going down, man. And his idea is to continue adding trades. You're in a loss, but you're still adding trades in the hope that if the market turns, then it goes collecting all the profits. So that those who argue, there's no point of using a stop loss.
So what I know with that is there are some that have what they call imaginary stop loss. More like it's a stop in their head. It's not as if they can watch their 100,000 go under, but they know like their pain point, they would normally call it. So let's say like they have 100,000. There's a risk to that anyway. Let's say they have 100,000, but for the professionals, I deem it for the fact that they are managing huge millions. So it's almost always hard to just like put a cap in terms of an automated stop. So they would normally think around that area of a region where when price gets to, we should liquidate that position. But for a retail trader, then they like to use that imaginary stop. It's like, okay, I don't want to have my stops line here. So if I am going into a loss of 10,000, it's okay. I can take that pain and then I'll close that position. But the risk there is that if there is a sudden spike, there's always like a two sides to a coin. Of course, we cannot totally abandon the fact that there are sometimes stop hands in the market. But I think it normally would perceive a lot more with people that are heavily trading lower time frame. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. You tend to see that this market is coming towards this zone and it will automatically like reverse like that. And then sometimes it can be a little bit more deeper than where your stops would want to be. And then from what I know, of course, like being that we're trading on electronic platforms, market makers, the industry players, when there's like a bunch of stop line under a particular range is visible, and then it's easy for people to drive the market all the way down there, pick it up, and then come up. But it's not totally an excuse to say, because of this, I don't want to set a stop loss. But you find a balanced ground between the two, and then you survive.
And I think it also goes into how you manage your own emotions. What his style, I can't do that. I can't manage my emotions to hedge and do all that. I'll be in panic mode.
Yeah.
You too. What is your favorite feature on Exness, and how has it helped you with your strategy? This is interesting, because one of the things that I've liked, let me back up a bit. So there are times I mentioned I use the court report. So the court report generally gives me sentiment on the non-commercials and their direction, and this is for the long term. So if they're going long on the pound, I know when I go to my charts, I need to look for only buys. So now here's another contrarian view. So the contrarian view is I go against the herd, and that's one of my strategies. Sometimes when majority are selling, I want to pick a buy, and this is at the tons. So what the Exness terminal has helped me do, at the right side, you'll always see sentiment. So you'll always see on the terminal how many people are buying and how many people are selling. So quickly what I will do, rather than deploying an indicator, a third-party indicator, is just right on that terminal, I can look at what are the majority doing. So if the majority are buying, and you clearly see the percentage there and the number there.
How many
so I'll see how many clients are actually buying and how many are selling. So if I deploy a contrarian perspective into my strategy for that day, I will look at, all right, so 76% are saying they're buying. Okay, I'm going to time for a sell. So that's one really great feature that I've seen on the Exness terminal, because it's live. You see it as you're trading, and it keeps changing after every hour. So when I look at it, I know how I go about my timing. So that's one of the things that I like about it.
So what I enjoy with the platform is the fact that it mimics the paid platforms that we have out there. Nonetheless, we have this coming to us for free. You can do like that replay button and then stuff. And then the other one is also the close all trades.
Oh yes,
Close all trades.
That feature is one of the best as well.
Close all trades.
Rather than clicking on one and the price is fluctuating, so you close everything all at once. It's a really great feature on the terminal.
And one more feature, the stop loss and take profit with the amount you can.
Yes. You can choose to risk in amount, or you can choose risk in pips. In pips and then in percentage.
I think so. This feature will only available in the Exness terminal.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay. Other feature I like about the Exness platform is they have different accounts that suits you better, the style of trader you have.
Having tried so many different other, brokers, one of the things that you want is that human feel and human touch, and talking to another human who understands you. You may think you have a stupid question to ask, but there's somebody on the other end who's patient enough to take you through a process to make you understand exactly what you need to do. So I think at the support level, they've really upped their game. If not the best, one of the best,
Very best.
In my opinion.
Which instrument would you trade for the rest of your life? I don't like to focus on one instrument, but if I would choose one, I would choose Euro-Dollar, because it has the most movements, and I always find my strategy working on it the best. So I will choose it. And what about you guys?
Yeah, generally I think that statistics-wise, Euro-Dollar is the most traded pair in the world. So, I mean, I confer with you if you want to be like the one you would not give up on.
If I'm not going to change it, I have to focus.
If it comes to me, I think it's the pound. I don't know, I just like trading the pound pairs. So if there are times
is it because of the peak value?
I think it's more of the routine. It has a routine according to my strategy that I'm so used to. So I can have like a very good night's sleep, wake up very early in the morning, and then sit by the chart, and I know that I'm going to get a pound go in one direction if I'm able to hit that direction. So of course, it's a probability game we're playing here, but knowing that one way or the other, that direction is going to happen within that set of time frame where I'm awake, then I want to be seated and use my logic and perspective to take that direction, and I'm just good. Like, I always wake up in a solid expectation that the pound is going to go either north or south. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like, my job is pretty simple. Get the right direction and go with the flow.
I used gold mostly. Mostly traders in the world are used gold for volatility, I think so. And gold is a best pair for me. I own.
Would you choose it for lifetime?
Yes,
Of course.
I do trading only gold and not use any other pairs.
Oh, wow. Really?
Hmm.
That means that you have a very, let's say, solid risk appetite. Because for people that trade gold, sometimes they can be tempted with their risk management, because you're seeing that you put, let's say, 0.2 and it is already making you $500. You're thinking, why not put 2 lots?
Yes, gold is
Yeah.
a very risky pair, but on the other hand, this is the most profitable pairs also.
Well, gold is very profitable, but it requires emotional resilience to trade it, because the fear and the greed factor around trading gold
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, most
is
important.
wild.
But for lifetime, I think I will go with Tesla, assuming we have Tesla stock for lifetime.
Wow.
Because first, I think it will be the most valuable stock in the world, and second is the stock that I know the most. Like, I study like every day what Elon Musk is doing and what Tesla company is doing. So it will be Tesla because it's the company I know the most.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
And he's always tweeting.
Always.
As a pro trader, you trade many brokers. Why Exness? So for me, Exness is the biggest retail brokers in the world and have 4.5 trillion volume size. This is a major volume, and biggest brokers in the world, I think so, have many options to best trades and for the best all the communities in trading.
Oh, wow.
So what do you think
And they also have 24/7 support in more than 14 languages. So it's amazing how they can help you any problem you have.
Yes, sport team is also good in Exness. Already discussed about that. Any other what you think, Kojo?
For me, most of my customers from MENA region always ask about swap, or always ask about Islamic accounts which has no swap. So when I was searching about other brokers, some accounts have swaps, some others not. But in Exness, in MENA region, I didn't find any account have any swap. So that was the best for MENA region customers here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, with me, it comes to some aspect of a decision that plays a major role in every trader's, personal account, which is like the negative balance protection. And we earlier discussed with certain traders trading without stop loss, and then we all understood that the market moves randomly. So you cannot necessarily determine that how deep a spike is going to be, But you see, when you put money in your trading account, let's say $1,000, and you're trading, right? You are only responsible for the $1,000, but in essence, you can take a position which can run huge loss than $1,000. So with some brokers, you can run at a loss, and then you now find in your trading account that you're owing negative 200 or negative 300. And then what happens is that if you deposit, you're paying for a loss that you made in a previous trade.
Yeah.
But what negative balance protection does is that it's a technology that you only lose exactly how much you put in. It cannot in any instance go further than your initial capital. That's
So
worst case
it's
scenario.
customized?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's just how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing in my country is regulation. Exness is regulated in my country. And the reason why it's important to have regulation is at least you have a go-to institution or person and say, okay, this person is regulated, they're certified, they're listed, they're legally, allowed to operate within a region or within a country. The brokers I'm talking about is where, and I have one in mind where I'm trading, then it went under, I have no recourse. There's no place where I can go to get my money back. There's no place I can go to report. I can't do anything about it. But when you're dealing with, a broker that's regulated, at least legally they're there. So they've gone through all the requirements, all the processes, and you can at least, trust a broker at that level when they're regulated as compared to one that's not regulated. So the regulation part of it, especially in my country, Kenya, really, really good.